Guide to purchasing a furnace. In this video, we're going to go over the key features of a gas furnace and help you determine which brands and which products is the best for you. So if you're looking to buy a gas furnace, you're going to notice that in the market, there are a lot of options. Here we're on the Lennox website, and you can see that they have what? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So they have about 20 models. So the question is, how do you choose which gas furnace to buy? And how do you compare across different brands? Because as a homeowner, you're going to get quotes from the contractors from various different brands. How can you cross compare the brands? So today we're going to go through the gas furnaces offering from Lennox and from Goodman. We're going to go over the key features of gas furnaces so that you as a homeowner can make a better purchasing decision. The first thing you want to look at a gas furnace is that there are two types of efficiencies for the gas furnaces. There's the 90% plus and the 80%. So 90% plus is usually like 95 or 96%. Sometimes it goes as high as 97%. Typically, these are going to be more expensive than 80%. So all furnaces that exist in the 80, they have the same model in the 90%. It's just more efficient. Typically, the cost is going to be a lot more. So usually for the extra money you're spending, it's not worth it in California because natural gas is relatively cheap. And there's also a few considerations when you're doing a 90+% efficiency furnace as well. So typically in California, we're looking at 80% efficiency. In here, even with the Goodman, you see a lot of different products. So we're going to go through selecting one of the products, and then we're going to look at the manual to see what configurations there are for these units. So here you see the Goodman gas furnaces and lots of features here. But the key way to understand how these units are actually built is by looking at this area. So this is where the Goodman or Daikin or Amana, they have the names for the different models. And the benefit of having the names of different models is that it clearly shows the distinguishing features of the furnace. So the first position is G. So G means Goodman. So you're buying a Daikin, it's going to say D, and you're buying Amana, it's going to say A. The second position, where it's either M or C. So M means it's upflow. So upflow is typically for a furnace in the garage, in the hallway, or in the attic. Downflow are for furnaces that shoot downwards. So these are typically in Northern California or in places where it gets colder and you have a basement where your ducting is in the underneath the house as opposed to be in the attic. The third position is very important. This is your motor. So there's 3 different types of motor you can get for your system. There's a single speed motor. There's an EMC multi-speed motor, and there's also the variable speed motor. So the difference between the single speed, multi-speed, and variable is that single speed typically just turns on, it goes on full power, and it turns off when you reach your desired heating or cooling. The multi-speed can have 2, 3, or 4 stages, and they are able to ramp up to a proportion of the total speed. And variable allows you to get a very precise control of the blower. So when you have a variable speed blower, the noise level in your house is going to be much more quiet. So you're looking for quietness in your system, always look for the variable, the V. And in Lennox, we also have that same offering as well. The E is somewhere in the middle. And I would recommend that for people that are concerned about noise, at least get a multi-speed ECM. The next part we're looking at is gas valve. So the gas valve is basically how the gas is heated, right? So again, the gas has either single stage, 2-stage, or modulating. Modulating is basically variable. And the difference between the motor and the gas is that when you have a gas furnace, you have the heat exchanger either at the top or the bottom. And this is what is creating the heat for the furnace. Below, you have a blower. The blower is what's shooting the air throughout your house. For noise level, the blower is really what is determining the sound. When you have a central air system, the blower is what's actually circulating the cold air across the house. So really the blower is the most important thing that you need to look at. The gas valve having a modulating or two-stage is much nicer than single stage, but I will say that if you have a choice between getting a variable motor and a modulating gas, I would get the motor over the gas valve. The next part we're gonna look at is AFUE. AFUE is the heating efficiency of the furnace. So 80% means that 80% of the natural gas will be converted into heat. A more efficient system, whereas the 96% will convert 96% of it into heat. The only thing about the 96% is that number one, you're gonna have to use a different exhaust for the extra for the hot air. So a 96% will be using PPC. It also needs to have a water pump because there's going to be condensation in the system, and it's typically more advanced system, and it's more moving parts, so there's more likelihood that it can actually break down. So typically we recommend 80% because the extra saving isn't that much for going to 96%. Okay, the next part right here, you're going to see 0.4. So this is the BTU per hour of the unit. So you can have either 40,000, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, 120,000 BTU. And your contractor is going to help you determine the right BTU per hour for your house. You use manual J as well, looking at the square footage of the house. You don't want too small of a BTU because if it's too small, it's going to take longer to heat your house. But you also don't want too high, because you're too high. What happens is that when you turn on the heat, it gets hot really fast. So you have uneven heating and cooling in your house. So really do not try to get too big of a heater or too small of a heater. Really have to understand what is the size of your house, what is the level of insulation, and what are the other factors to determine the right heat load for your house. Typically, a 3-ton system is around 40,000 BTUH. A 4-ton is between 60 and 80,000, and a 5-ton could be 80,000, 100,000, or 120,000 BTUH. The next part we're going to look at is actually the maximum CFM. The CFM is how much airflow is being blown by the blower, cubic feet per minute. And a 2 means 800 CFM. 3 is 1200 CFM. 4 is 1600 CFM. And 5 is 2000 CFM. And the CFM is really how the blower is paired with your condenser. So when you have 1200 CFM furnace, this furnace is actually compatible with a 3-ton system. When you have 1600 CFM, it's compatible with a 4-ton system. And when you have 2000 CFM, it's compatible with a 5-ton system. So when you're getting a furnace that's compatible with an AC system, always look at the CFM and look at the motor. So the motor and the CFM is what's going to match the furnace to the AC outside. And these furnaces, they come in different sizes. In the industry, there's really 4 main sizes. The A cabinet is 14 inches across. The B is 17.5. The C is 21 inches, and the D is 24.5. So whenever you're getting a replacement, this is really the job of the contractor, but they have to figure out what is the size of the existing furnace and get you the one that's compatible, because the furnace stand, the base is compatible with the existing furnace. And also when you're getting a furnace, the coil has to match as well, which is why we're very careful about getting the right dimension. Depending on the model you're getting, they come in different widths of the cabinets. And you get too small of a cabinet, you may have a hole in your filter stand, and that's not good. And if you get too big of a cabinet, it may not fit inside your closet or in your attic. So really, you have to be aware of this if you're installing it. The last item is going to be natural gas or Lennox. This only applies to California in the San Joaquin Valley. So there's a greater requirement for emissions in California. So manufacturers are creating a special furnace that has lower emissions to meet the standards. Let's go over what we looked at. So the first one is going to be configuration, whether it's upflow or downflow. Then the motor, whether it's variable, multi-speed ECM, or single speed. Typically, we recommend going at least a multi-speed to reduce the noise level. Then there's the gas valve, whether it's modulating, single stage, or 2-stage. The AFUE is the efficiency. Then you get your BTU per hour, which is how much heating is generated by the furnace per hour. Your CFM is how strong your blower is. And then finally, your cabinet width is the width of the unit. And this is important to fit in the existing system of your house. So this is from Goodman. Let's look at Lennox as well. So here we are at Lennox, and let's look at the typical ML180 furnace. So you can see here, we're going to pull up the spec. So it's 80% AFUE. It's a single stage heating. So this means that the furnace, the gas part is single speed. The motor is PSC. PSC is basically, it means it's a single stage blower. It's another way of calling it single speed. So this is basically the standard. If you're looking for the Merit product, probably recommend that you get at least the one with the E. So Lennox has two models for the Merit series. They have the ML180, ML180E, and ML180V. So ML180E is the same furnace, but the blower right here is an EMC multi-stage furnace. So here the motor here is called, they call it power saver constant torque. But what that really means is that it's the EMC multi-speed. And then finally, the Lennox also has the ML180V. So this is the variable speed blower. So if you're looking for the Merit product, I would recommend this one because the price difference isn't that much, but you're getting a much more quiet system with a variable blower. So let's go back and look at all the Lennox offerings and decipher based on what we went through. What are the different distinguishing factors of the furnaces? We went through the Merit line already. So let's look at this right here. We have the ML193E. So 193 basically, so the 1 means it's single stage. 93 is 93% efficiency, and E means it's going to be a ECM multi-stage blower. You have the ML196E. So 196 means that it's going to be 96% efficiency versus 93% efficiency. So it's higher efficiency. The next product we have is ML296V. So 2 means that the furnace itself is actually 2 stages. And the V is the blower is variable. So you go back to this diagram right here. It's going to be a variable motor, and it's going to be a 2-stage gas valve. And here we have the EL180NE. This is what we typically sell in Southern California. So EL is elite, 1 is single stage, and 80% efficiency. NE, so N is ultra no NOx, means it has lower emissions. And E means that it's going to be the ECM motor. So it's going to be a multi-stage blower. We also have the EL195NE, which is a more efficient system than the 80%. But the only difference here is that it's going to be a little more efficient. We also have the EL196E, which is single stage, 96% efficiency, and it's also a multi-stage blower. And as we move up here, you can see there's different variations, but really the most common furnace that we sell for Lennox would be the SL280NV in Southern California. And this one it's a 2-stage heat exchanger, 80% efficiency, and it's variable speed in terms of the blower. There's also the SL280V that we sell in Northern California, where there's no ultra no NOx requirements. So typically, we do recommend that you go with a 80% efficiency system. If you can afford it, definitely get the variable speed blower because it's going to be much more quiet. Whether you get single stage or 2-stage, I would prefer to get the V first. If you can afford a 2-stage system, definitely go for that as well, because then it's going to lower the sound level of the unit inside. And using this very standard understanding about furnaces, you can actually compare offerings across every single brand. So if your contractor is giving you a Carrier, giving you a Trane, giving you a Bryant, giving you a day and night, giving you a York system or Rheem and Ruud system, that's not what we went through here. You can easily decipher your offerings and know what you're getting. So the key things about buying a furnace is knowing what the features are that you're getting and knowing what you want to prioritize. If you prioritize noise level, then I would definitely get a variable speed EMC or a multi-speed EMC. You can also get either a single stage or two-stage or modulating. Typically, we recommend a two-stage system, but the variable is also better in terms of the noise efficiency. The AFUE, you can get either an 80%, 93%, 95%, 97%. There's no difference in your savings of natural gas. So we typically stick with the 80% because it's a much simpler product and it's easier to maintain. It's going to last longer because it's a simpler, less moving parts. So here, let's look at this one. This is one of the best products that Lennox makes for the furnaces, 80% efficiency, two-stage. It has more sound absorbing technology, and it's also variable speed, which is a blower. Very important. And yeah, overall, it's a good product. And I hope that using this guide, you can look at any single brand, every single offering, and make a determination on which one is the best offering for you. We're going to do more videos about heating and air conditioning on this channel to help you as a homeowner purchase the best option for your house. If you're in California, please visit one of our retail stores. We have 3 locations in Orange County, and we have 1 location in San Jose, California, which we service the Bay Area as well as Sacramento. And we're happy to help. Just reach out to us and we can answer any questions you have. Thank you.